Gang, we do this video every update, and I was like, oh my god, I haven't done it yet. Every time there's an update, we always go through, we cover settings, because the game changes, they change different movement mechanics, audio mechanics, so I like to go through and just touch up on settings, man. And every update, there's always new players to the game, so I like to put these videos out for y'all to see. We're going to go through just about everything here. We're going to start with controller. This is going to help with your aiming, recoil control, movement, anything like that. So first and foremost, I play on a Scuff. It's a PS Infinity Pro 4, I don't know, whatever. It's like a PlayStation 4 Scuff, that's all I know. I flipped the bumper, so I shoot with the bumpers, not the triggers, because that's how it was with PlayStation 3, so it's a lot easier for me to do that. I also have it set to tactical as well, so I slide with my right stick, I melee with B or with this paddle is what I use to melee. Controller vibrations off, anything that's going to affect recoil, so like vibration could definitely affect that. I turn that off. My dead zones, this is going to be custom to everybody else, so you want this number to be like as low as possible without any movement. So I mean, technically I could do a 3, but you'll see, you can't see it because of my webcam, but underneath you see how those numbers are going crazy. Like, let's see if we can get them to go crazy again. It's not too bad. It looks like I have a little stick drift in the right stick, but nothing too crazy. So maybe I could play 3-3. The whole concept of this is you want it to be as low as possible without getting any sort of stick drift. So like if I go to a 1, I'm gonna have stick drift, undoubtedly. So you'll see right there, it shows like a -2, a -1, whatever on these joysticks. It's not worth it to have that, so I like to go up to a 3 or 4, whatever, as low as I can go without having crazy stick drift. So this seems to be just fine. That's where we're going to leave it. We're going to move on over to aiming. I play on a 6/6 sensitivity. There is no need in going faster than this. Like, there really isn't slow is smooth, smooth is fast, man. If your sensitivity's so fast, if you go to turn on someone, you like look past that person and have to go back to target. So for instance, if this is a target and you're here, okay, you have to whip around and you look past them and then have to correct to go here, that's not as fast as just stopping right on target. If you have to go back, that's wasted time. That's why you see a lot of professional players running slower sensitivities. I've always competed with slower sensitivities, so make sure you have slower sense trust. If you go over to your sensitivity multiplier, you can also customize that. So look, if you go here, we'll go to custom, and then now this number right here, by default it's set to 1.20. Put that to 1.0, go back to custom and turn that to 6. Do it for both. That way you have no sped up what do they call it, acceleration, essentially. So it's by default now everything's like a half interval, so instead of it being like a 6, it would have been a 6.5. A lot of people complained about the sensitivity in this game when it first came out, and they didn't understand that's how you change it back to default. So make sure you go through and do that, get it back to default. Aim response curve type dynamic. That's really the only thing I rock. Aim response curve slope scale, I keep that at 1.0. Sensitivity per zoom, so low zoom and 2 to 3 times is going to be set to 0.93. I like those. Everything else, it's going to be a sniper. I want that to be a little bit faster. ADS sensitivity transition time is on instant. Aim assist type, I have it set to default. I know a lot of people rock Black Ops. For me personally, default's been doing great. If I'm having like a bad aim day, I'll switch that up maybe to Black Ops, but very rare. Gameplay. Excuse me, gang. Tired. It was a super long day. Automatic tag sprint, I keep that on. Now, I know there's like no slide cancel resets tag sprint, so it's like, why would you do that? It just saves your joysticks, having to mash the joystick and constantly to sprint. So I use auto tag sprint. If I am using a hipfire build, I will turn that off. Slide maintain sprint on, bro. I'm telling you, this is like, this setting right here is why when you watch these little TikTok rats, like they slide around so fast, you're like, why can't I move that fast? This is it. Like you'll slide, and when you get out of it, you're still sprinting. That right there is a pro tip for movement. Like if you're not using that, bro, you're chopped, especially if you're trying to break cameras. Slide and dive behavior, slide only. Get rid of the dive. There's no need. Slide canceling super fast. And if you set it to slide only, there's less latency to slide than before. Again, it's giving you an edge on movement. Parachute automatic behavior, I have that set to off. I want it to be able to basically get to the ground first, especially on hot drops. You know, you want to be able to land and get that done. Prioritize interacts, you definitely want to enable that. And then armor plate apply all, you can always cancel animation. I don't understand why you do one at a time. It's bonehead behavior. Akimbo behavior, I have that set to independent instead of paired. Essentially what that means is like each weapon's gonna fire, like you can pull the left stick or the right stick rather than it just being like you pull one and they both go off. I have it set to independent 100%. Lean out activity is going to be set to melee, and that really covers that. Let's go down to graphics. Now for graphics, this is like preference, I guess. I mean, obviously you can see the specs here. We got the 3080 Ti, play at 1440. If you have a PC, you have the means to play 1440, play 1440. That, like, that little bit of difference in quality from 1080 to 1440 is massive in noticing people in Warzone. I didn't think it was going to be that big a deal until I made the change. I can't play 1080 anymore. Like 1440 really does look that much more crisp. If you're having a problem with shaders, if you're having like FPS drops randomly, you don't know what's going on, it's always good to restart shaders preloading. Go through it, just re-downloads all your shaders. It's kind of like a clean sweep for that, and it definitely can help with performance in terms of frames. Video reflex low latency, I have it on instead of on plus boost. If you have a lower end PC, like when I said lower end, anything under 3080 Ti, 100%. Like this is really for like, the only reason I throw 3080 Ti into it is because it has a 5 frame deficit compared to the 3090. There's literally a 5 frame a second deficit, where like a 3080 is more like a 40 frame deficit. With that being said, anything under like a 3090, a 3080 Ti, 3090, stuff like that, you want it set to on. 3080s and lower, on plus boost 100%. You don't want your like super beefy cards, like the top of the line cards, set to boost because they're already going to be running like as hard as they can. You don't want to do that because what's going to happen is that card's going to get even more hot than it already is. It's not going to perform trust. Like NVIDIA reflex low latency on if you have beefy computer. If you don't have beefy computer, boost the joint, all right? Which makes sense. Like if you need to boost your PC, it's probably not like the best PC. Custom frame limit, that's set to custom, whatever your monitor is, of course. Quality, I'm just gonna scroll through here, copy this as we go. Nothing too crazy. Fidelity, XCast to keep that on. No ray reconstruction, anything like that. And I have a lot of my settings just set to low, man. I'm not in it for the looks. I don't want it to look super pretty. I just want to go in here and absolutely fry foreheads. So I'm trying to get the best performance I absolutely can. Even bullet impacts, I keep this on only for the tutorial videos. When I show like class builds and recoil control, that's the only reason that's on. 90% of the time when I'm playing, that is off, man. I don't need to see bullet impacts in game. That's just a waste of graphics usage. View FOV 120 affected FOV instead of independent. If you set it to affected, you have less visual recoil. Only if you're using 120 FOV, man. It's such a waste to not use 110, or like not use 120, use 110, anything like that. Weapon field of view set to wide, that makes your gun smaller. You can see more. Wide on the vehicle field of view, same difference. World motion blur, weapon motion blur, set those off. Film grain at 0. In Modern Warfare 2019, film grain at 0.01 gave you an increase in frames. I don't know why, but it did. This game doesn't matter. Set it to 0. Camera movement least. You want that least on everything, and then inverted flashbang. Instead of your screen going white, it goes black. Save your eyes, man. It sucks when you get flashed IRL playing COD. Audio, PC speaker has been my sound setting. I can hear everything with this setting. I usually play headphones or headphones bass boost, but lately PC speaker's been crazy. There's not too many audio settings in this game, so it's like kind of hard to go through all that. Reduced tinnitus sound, that reduces the ringing when you get flash. You can hear more. Maybe you can't see, you still get the kill. Hit mark sound effects, Modern Warfare. I switched that from classic back and forth. And then on interface, I don't think there's really anything too crazy. Like minimap, make sure it's square, not round. That's pretty big. You want crosshairs on. Telemetry, I mean, that's all preference. That's it, gang. Listen, if you're new to the channel, enjoy the content, man. I need you to hit the sub button, press the like button. I'll catch you tomorrow for another heater. Let's get it.